Hi all, welcome to GALDA's previous year question discussion series. And today in this session, let's discuss 5 questions from Indian polity. Okay, so moving on to the first question. With reference to the Constitution of India, consider the following statements. Statement number 1. No High Court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. 2. An amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? See, this question is regarding the concept called judicial review. See, in India, we have single integrated system of judiciary. Okay, we have single integrated system judiciary in with Supreme Court at the top, then High Court, then other subordinate courts. Okay, but say in USA, there are separate court system. That is, High Courts of a state look into the legality of laws made by the state, and Federal Court of USA look into the legality of federal laws. But in India, this single integrated system of judiciary looks into the legality of both central and state laws. That is, under Indian Constitution, both Supreme Court and High Court has the power of judicial review. That is, even the High Court has the power to declare a central law to be constitutionally invalid. So we can say that statement number 1 is wrong, because it says that no High Court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. But under our case, there is an Indian case, High Court also have the power to declare a central law to be constitutionally invalid. So statement number 1 is wrong. Okay, regarding statement number 2, an amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. See, if any of the amendments violates the basic structure of the Constitution, then judiciary interfere into it and declares that amendment to be invalid. That means Supreme Court has the power to declare an amendment to the Constitution as invalid if it violates the basic structure of our Constitution. Okay, so statement 2 is also wrong. So since both the statements are wrong, our answer become option D. That is neither one nor two. That is, both the statements given in this question are wrong. Okay, so answer is option D. Moving on to second question. What does 93rd Constitutional Amendment Act relate to? A. Abolition of legislative councils in certain states. B. Introduction of dual citizenship for persons of Indian origin living outside India. 3. Providing quota to socially and educationally backward classes in private education institutions. D. Providing quota for religious minorities in the services under central government. See, when you study Indian polity, please note down some of the important constitutional amendment acts. Why? Because those acts are directly asked. You must note down the most important amendments, okay, made by our parliament. Okay, so here 93rd amendment is selected to option C is the correct answer. That is, providing quota to socially and educationally backward classes in private education institutions is the answer to this question. Okay, see, when you prepare polity, there are many important amendments like 52nd Amendment Act, which introduced anti-defection law. 73rd Amendment Act related to Panchayat, 74th Amendment Act related to municipalities. I guess many such amendments are there. Okay, 61st Amendment Act, which reduced the voting age from 21 to 18. And 69th Amendment Act, which is granting National Capital Territory status to the Union Territory of Delhi. Likewise, many such important amendments are the 42nd Amendment Act, which introduced many changes. 44th Amendment Act, which removed right to property from the list of fundamental rights. Likewise, these important amendments are very much important for us from prelims perspective. So please note down and thoroughly study all those important amendments. Okay, answer to this question is, it is 93rd Amendment Act related to providing quota to socially and educationally backward classes in private education institutions. Answer is option C. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion. That is, Article 15 of the Constitution of India is a fundamental right classifiable under. See, when you go through the fundamental rights, as I said earlier, First of all, you must note down or clearly thorough with the provisions from Article 12 to 35. Because Article 12 to 35 under Part 3 of the Constitution deals with fundamental right. Okay, Article 12 defines what is a state. Article 13 defines what is meant by law. Okay, and Article 14 to 18 deals about right to equality. Article 19 to 22 is right to freedom. Okay, and Article 23 and 24 right against exploitation. Article 25 to 28 right to freedom of religion. Article 29 and 30 cultural and educational rights. The Article 32 right to constitutional remedies. Likewise, you must classify all those fundamental rights based on this pattern. Then you can easily attempt these type of questions. Okay, so here prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, that is Article 15, is a fundamental right classifiable under, answer is right to equality. That is our answer is option D. Right to equality is our answer. Okay, so in this manner you have to prepare fundamental rights. Okay, and please note down in many of the fundamental rights there are certain kind of exceptions. That exceptions are also important for us from prelims perspective, right? Consider the following statements. A constitutional government is one which places effective restrictions on individual liberty in the interest of state authority. Statement number 2 says the constitutional government places effective restrictions on the authority of the state in the interest of individual liberty. Which other statement is correct here? So moving on to statement number 1. See, constitutional government means it does not put effective restrictions on individual liberty. So say example, we have fundamental rights. That is part 3 of our constitution guarantees citizens and also foreigners the fundamental rights. So by giving fundamental rights, people are given some kind of liberty. So there the constitutional government does not put any effective restrictions upon individual liberty. Why? Because we are given liberty in the form of fundamental rights. Fine. So we can say statement number 1 is wrong. Okay. Moving on to statement number 2. It places effective restrictions on the authority of the state in the interest of individual liberty. That is true here. Again, individual liberty. Sorry, in the case of fundamental rights, we are given freedom. So on that, government or the state has some limitations upon the individuals. See, through fundamental rights, that is through the constitutional provisions, some kind of restrictions are put upon the state in the interest of individual liberty. So statement number 2 is right here. Fine. So answer becomes B, that is 2 only, because statement number 1 says that the constitutional government put effective restrictions on individual liberty in the interest of state authority. That is wrong here. But 2 is right. Why? Because it places effective restrictions on the authority of state. Because state is given some kind of limitations to interfere. Fine. So statement number 2 is right here. So answer becomes B, that is 2 only. Okay. Moving on to the last question for today. Consider the following. That is right to education, right to equal access to public service, right to food. Which of the above is or are human right or human rights under Universal Declaration of Human Rights? See, there is a concept of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And based on that, some kinds of rights are given. Some kinds of rights are made essential for the dignity of the human beings. And among that, here, all these 3, that is right to education, right to equal access to public service and right to food, all are mentioned under Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, so the answer is option D. Fine. And if you feel this video useful, please share it to your friends and also subscribe our channel for more quality videos. Thank you then. Bye.